Hey YouTube, how you guys doing today? Welcome to my channel, Latino Wolf Trucker, the Trucker Life Project, where you see where my progress from the time where I get my Class A license to the completion of what my plans are. Stay tuned. Alright, so my impression of purchasing your own vehicle to any of the leasing purchase programs that some of the major carriers have, like Prime, Schneider, whatever it may be. Right now, you guys know that Grace I got from Low Mountain, so I purchased it from out of a company, not inside a company. Now, for me, I believe it's better doing it this way. Not that I wouldn't consider doing a lease purchase. It's just in the beginning I didn't want to do that because being that it's a higher expense than if I got Grace. Grace is only costing me every month $13.50 for the payments on the truck, not including the insurance that I have separate, which is $303. Now, if you watched my budget video, you would know all these numbers, most of these numbers anyway. Now, I've considered some of the lease purchase programs that I've researched for. One of them was Prime. Now, Prime's program, and also I did others, but Prime, I kind of like Prime a little bit more than the others, because they have newer trucks that you could purchase or lease purchase, and I thought the price wasn't too bad based on the truck that it was or is. One of the trucks that I like is the Peterbilt 579 Ultra Loft, which is almost as high as Grace in the sleeping area here and over my head. The original 579 doesn't have that extra space. Still a nice looking truck, but I like the Ultra Loft for the space. Now, based on the research I did, Prime's lease purchase includes everything. It's like a flat rate, even though they give you a breakdown, but they do like a flat rate. It's almost like if you go with a brand new truck, it's like $1,200 a week for everything, all done and out the door, running, moving on the road, and doing all your runs during the week. Yeah, so Prime lease purchase I kind of like because it's not that unreasonable for a brand new truck. You know, almost, you know, brand new, no miles on the truck. You got an APU, you have refrigerator, inverter, and all that stuff. So it's nice. It's not bad. You know, especially Prime has a lot of loads and should be able to stay busy. Now, with Grace, being that she's only $13.50 plus the $303 for the insurance, weekly only comes out to like roughly about $350, almost $400 a week. And then what Paul Miller takes out as well. So I'll be roughly about 400, 425, or say 450. All right, anywhere between 400 to 450 a week, just for the truck, the insurance for the truck, and what Paul Miller takes out initially, not including the fuel, taxes or whatever. They don't, not including that. So now, do I feel like purchasing out of a company a truck over a lease purchase, for me, was what I wanted. I wanted to purchase the truck outside of the company. That way I could take Grace anywhere I want. Let's say, for example, if Paul Miller doesn't, if I don't work very well with Paul Miller, I don't think Paul Miller and I are doing well, I could take Grace and move on. I could go somewhere else. You know, I could go to a different company. I could go to, I possibly could take Grace to Prime if I wanted to. Even though they're asking me if Grace has the anti-roll system in it, I'm not sure. I didn't spec out Grace when she first came out, so I don't know. So I gotta do some research on that. Now, but anywhere else, I could go to Landstar if I wanted to, which I forgot his name though. There's a YouTuber that he has the exact same truck that I do, International Pro Star, and he got it from Lone Mountain as well, just like I did, and he's working at Landstar. So there's nothing that keep me from doing that if I wanted to, if I needed to. And Mercer is another company that I would consider as well. They both pay the same, roughly around the same percentage. I could get my own trailer in either of the company. Prime is the only one I want to be able to get my own trailer, which I have plans on getting my own trailer, and I have plans on the trailer that I could try to make more money on top of what Grace and the loads that I do. Once I get that working and running, I will share that with you guys. Now, if you don't have, I don't have great credit, and let me tell you something. Lone Mountain is pretty understanding and flexible. Okay, you just gotta present yourself very well. You gotta know what you're talking about. You gotta know what you're talking about. All right, with Lone Mountain, for them to be really, really flexible with you. Okay, when I first applied for Lone Mountain, my credit is not that great because past things like the mortgage crash that we had a couple years ago, that messed me up. Now, if you present yourself knowing that you know what you're doing and what your plans are, there's a good chance that they could work with you. Like with me, they wanted originally 2 times the down payment that they were advertising for Grace. Grace was $2,500 down. Now they wanted $5,000 because of my credit. And I kind of talked to them about it and stuff like that. And then they came back to me asking me questions about what my plans are. You know, what is it that what's your vision? What's your budget and stuff like that. So I gave them a breakdown what I was planning on doing. And because I presented myself with the knowledge that I knew and the research that I did and what my plan was, they were flexible. They said, you know what? We like your plan and we like what you are presenting, so we're gonna work with you, and we just require that you make that one regular down payment instead of the 2. So you got to know what you're talking about. You got to know what you got to plan out your plan before you jump into getting a truck. You really do. So sometimes it might help you, because the finance company might ask you if you got a good finance person. You could probably present what your plans are, and they might be able to be flexible with you. You know, you got to know what you're talking about. You got to do your research. You got to do everything. You got to cross your T's and dot your I's. You know what I mean? So that's my recommendation to you guys that want to get into this business, but don't have a lot of the resources of sense of your credit, and you have a low start budget like I did. I started at JB Hunt, and I was doing almost the same thing that BOC Enterprises, which I recommend you guys, if you haven't, look them up. It's BOC Enterprises. I'll see if I can put the link in the description so you guys can take. If not, do a search. Great guy. He's funny. He's probably a little bit more entertaining than I am, but I'm new to this, and so little by little I'll get close to that. But anyways, so he was working at JB Hunt in the same division that I was, and we both had the same idea of, you know, packing our money, what we were making, so that way we could get to where we are right now. The only difference was he went straight and getting his authority, and I decided to go and start as an owner-operator with the intention to get my authority down the road. I might not do that this year because my plans were kind of... I'm holding back my plans a little bit based on the market, because the market is not the same as it was last year. So I decided to hold out a little bit, bank a little bit more, money on the side, build it up, and then when I feel more comfortable with the amount of money that I have saved up, I'm not including the maintenance fund. The maintenance fund is going to be different. I'm talking about this is to keep, to start the business and authority. But I also have an option with BOC that I'm working on doing with him. So I might go that avenue instead, and might hold out doing my authority for maybe another year instead. Now, I had other ideas too that concerning Grace is, if I was to go instead of what I was planning on with BOC, to go with Prime, or Prime actually, because Prime is the only one that has a decent lease that I would consider. Mercer or Landstar doesn't have any lease purchase programs. I would lease purchase a Prime truck and put Grace as my second truck and have two trucks on the Prime. But I might not, I'm considering it, but I might not even do it because I still don't like being dispatched. I don't like that. I want the option of either being dispatched or looking for my own loads. Because in the beginning, while I'm learning how to negotiate, which I have a little bit of an idea how to do that, negotiating with the brokers, and I still have a dispatcher to fall back on if I don't get that negotiating properly at times, or I can't find a load that's in my price range at that moment. I could call the dispatch and say, hey, do you have anything that that will fit in this, and this, and then we'll go from there. So I still don't like the idea of the Prime program in that sense, because they dispatch you. It's not forced dispatch, but they dispatch you. They have the load, they look for the load, you call them, they give you a load. You can't call a broker or an agent or anything like that to get your own load. Unlike if I went with BOC, or if I went with Landstar, even though Landstar is still their own load board, but you could find your own load board. You could find your own load in their load board instead of having only one choice, what the dispatcher tells you over the phone, as in Prime. Because Landstar has a load board, electronic load board. I think it's a website actually. I'm not sure if it's an app, but it might be. And you have multiple choices, so you could choose whatever you want. Supposedly, it's anywhere between 30 to 40,000 loads a day they have supposedly. So that's not bad. That would be a good consideration. Mercer, you could dispatch by Mercer, or you could find your own loads. So those three for me is more beneficial for what I want. I might not be able to get a brand new truck to lease and put Grace as a second truck, with the other choices, but I would prefer them over Prime, and because of that one issue. Because with Paul Miller was a great starting company, and it's decent, but like always, you gotta rely on the dispatcher, and that dispatcher is managing your business, and that's what bothers me. That's why I wish if Paul Miller would allow me to find my own loads, I think I'll be all set, because I could manage my own self, because I could find my own, I could negotiate my own loads and stuff like that. But that's not the way it is. So there's a couple weeks I've been kind of frustrated, which you guys will see soon when I do the settlement videos, which I'm working on them, but they're not done yet. So as soon as I get that done, you guys will see what I mean. But that's my 2 cents concerning purchase out of the company and lease purchase in a major carrier. That's my point of view. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I prefer to purchase. If you have the resources, and I have a friend of mine that he's kind of tight in budget, and he just wants to be his own individual, his own business, and be able to manage his own business and everything else. And he doesn't have a lot of money to purchase a truck, and he wants more security. He wants a truck that has warranty and all that stuff. Even though Grace has a warranty on the engine, the after treatment, the EGR, she's not fully covered, but she has a decent. The main thing is the engine. So he wants to get a truck that has everything on it, coverage and everything. So I told him, if you want, try Prime. So he could purchase his truck, lease purchase it. He's planning on keeping it afterwards, and I told him you should do that. Keep it, get another truck if you want after you pay that off. So there's a lot of options in that. So, and also mind you, you don't have to get a brand new truck with Prime for the lease purchase. You could also get a used truck. And I spoke to one Prime driver. He's leasing his truck. He only had, see if I can remember, 6 months. He said, I think it was only 6 months left on that truck for payments, because somehow, for some reason, let's say for example I go and I purchase a Prime truck right now, and then it's a 3-year lease, and 2 years I turn it back in. I don't want the truck anymore, or something like that. I want to get out, whatever it is. Whoever gets that truck has the remaining of the year to pay for the truck. It's like they keep that record of it being paid off, and just give whatever's left over to the next driver who wants to purchase that truck. Which is not a bad idea, which is kind of cool in a way. This guy only had 6 months left of payments on the truck when he picked it up. So chances are he just have to pay the balloon payment at the end, and the truck is his. what kind of deal is that? That's pretty good, I think. But me, if I was going to do it, I would get a brand new truck. I don't, you know, why get into a used truck when you can get a brand new truck? So, all right, I'm ranting on now. All right, guys. I hope this video helped you out. If this is the first time watching, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell for future videos, hit the like button, and if you have any questions or any comments, leave it on the bottom, and I'll get back to you as quickly as I possibly can. All right, thank you guys again for tuning in to the Trucker Life Project. Stay tuned for other videos. Be blessed. Keep it sunny side up, rubber side down, and strive for success.